I'll continue with our Italian vacation. We decided to take a train trip from Cassino to Rome. Nice electric train. And when we arrived in the terminus in Rome, we see this Servian wall, a 4th century BC wall that was built after the first Gaul sacking of Rome. That may be the first wall of Rome. And what's interesting about it, and you will see this many times, is the terminus was built around it. It actually goes inside the terminus into a McDonald's restaurant. So our next stop is we jump on a bus, an autobus, and we cruise through the area around the Colosseum. The wall you see here was built in 1807 to support the Colosseum, which was built between 72 and 80 AD. And right next to the Colosseum, we're looking at Palatine Hill, where you can see some of the ruins of the palaces on Palatine Hill. And this is the 16th century built entrance to that hill for tourists. And then we're coming up onto Aqua Claudia, or remnants of this aqueduct. That was one of the 4 main aqueducts feeding Rome, started by Caligula in 38 AD and finished by Claudius in 52 AD. Looking at the palaces of Palatine Hill across Circus Maximus. This is the 6th century church, Santa Maria in Portico di Capitale, near the Portico of Octavia. This is the 16th century church, St. Caterina of the Rope Makers. This is the Theatra of Marcellus. This area was cleared by Julius Caesar, but he didn't get to build this because he was assassinated. This is the Teatro of Marcellus, built between 13 and 17 BC. Land cleared and given to this area by Julius Caesar, but he was assassinated before it could be built. In its time, it could hold 20,000 people as a theater. In the 16th century, the upper levels of the theater were removed and these apartments were installed. And these apartments are very exclusive. Amazing that they built right on top of this ancient structure. But in Rome, if it doesn't fall apart, they'll build on it. This is the Campus Martius area. It was floodplain of the Tiber before it was drained. It's also considered the Jewish quarter or the Jewish ghetto that was established in the 16th century, and then the situation with that was removed in 1870. This material intrigued me. It's called tuff, Tuff. It's a volcanic dust that has been consolidated into a very tough rock, but it's porous and makes it lightweight but easy to work as well. It would be put together and then covered with travertine to protect it. A lot of that travertine's been moved to other areas because these places were quarried to be used for other areas. And the other thing that intrigued me about this material are the holes. And I thought, they lift the rocks and blocks with these holes? Come to find out, that's not what it is. The holes had steel rods, iron rods, not steel, iron rods coated with lead to hold the blocks together as there was construction. Over time, iron ran kind of short around Italy, so people started pulling the iron rods out and using it for other uses. That is pretty typical Italian, from what I understand. It either reuse or use again. And we're looking at the base. This is the base of the Temple of Apollo. And it's right next door to this. It's right next door to this. This is the what remains of the Temple of Apollo. It was originally built in 433 to 431 BC, and it was kind of knocked about, as you can see, and some of it was rebuilt in 32 BC. It's right next to the Theater Marcellus. You can see the debris from the temple. It's lying around. I'm surprised it hasn't been used in other areas. Some of it might have been quarried to be used in other areas, but what's really interesting, I found, is just how delicate the carvings were in the stone for this temple, which is pretty neat. And this is the Portica Octavia. So the Portico of Octavia was built in 146 BC, that had some damage and was rebuilt in 27 BC. It contained upwards of almost 7 different temples, Jupiter, a number of different gods back then. There's a painting in the Jewish Quarter that depicts Liliana Segre and Semi Modiano as survivors of the Holocaust. Also in this area is this intriguing area. I thought at first might be baths or something. Come to find out, it's a Jewish food preparation area of ovens and stables. This medieval era of underground warehouses, storage areas, stables, ovens, food processing area. It's considered a ghetto though, but it was a food processing and supplying area for the whole neighborhood in medieval times, back in 1500s, 16th century. And right next door we have the Forum Hortorium and Basilica of San Nicola and Caceri. And notice the temple is built into the wall there. And across the street is the Portico Olitarius, part of the Servian wall at the base of the Capitoline Hill. In the distance is the monument to Emmanuel II, first king of the unified Italy.
Oh, fire department. That's excitement in the big city of Rome.
Tapping rock in the Capitoline Hill, used for pushing people off for execution. Not too cool. 17th century church of San Rocco, patron saint of contagious diseases and dogs. This is the Piazza del Popolo, part of the Aurelian Wall. Actually, this is the Porta del Popolo, the northern gate of Rome that leads to the Piazza del Popolo. It's part of the Aurelian Wall. We're traveling along this wall, this Aurelian Wall, and as you can see, people have built on it and are probably living right on top of this old ancient wall. It's very Romanesque. Very Romanesque. The wall was built from 271 to 275 AD. Porta Pinciana, entrance to the Villa Borghese Gardens. 17th century fountain, Triton Fountain. This is the Fountain of Moses, or also known as Fontana del Acqua Felice. It's the terminus of the Acqua Felice Aqueduct. This is the Fountain of the Nymphs, located in the Plaza of the Republic. As we move away from the fountain of the nymphs, we can see the baths of Diocletian, ancient Roman baths that were huge, 32 acres, could handle 3,000 people. Had a cold room, a warm room, and a hot room. And Michelangelo in the 16th century converted it to the Church of Santa Maria and have the angels and the martyrs. As we head back to Casino Olivella, you can see through the window the remains of the Claudia Aqueduct that we saw earlier in Rome. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching.